With Halloween just around the corner, I'm sharing my spooky, creepy, and scary items from my collection. Grab yourself a bowl of blueberry cereal and continue if you dare. For this Halloween special, I'll be featuring items I consider Halloween adjacent from my collection. So vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein's monster, witches, warlocks, ghosts, ghouls, demons, skeletons, etc., etc., etc. If you're expecting horror or gross out toys, sadly, this is all I've got. This Mad Ball I've had since I was a kid, and this Freddy figure. I also had a My Pet Monster Rark, but sadly, I've since lost him. Let's begin with Creepy Kids. Released by Spearhead Industries in 1986, the company began in the late 70s producing egg decorating kits, decals, facial makeup, capes, and inflatable toys. By the time the 80s rolled around, they started producing stuffed animals, snow sleds, and action figures. The Creepy Kids featured 4 characters: Bee Werewolf, Frankie Fright, Gory Tooth, and Witch S. Brew. Their packaging stated, "Look for Series 2, but sadly they never came out. I've had all but Witch S. Brew since childhood. I believe I got them in Fort Smith, Arkansas. That's where my cousins lived at the time, and they also had them. Earlier this year, I purchased some carded versions, although they're not in the greatest shape." Boo Buckets, or Halloween Happy Meals by McDonald's, initially ran as a test promotion in New York and Boston in 1985. Their initial national release was the following year in 1986 and featured McBoo, McGoblin, and McPumpkin.
Oh boy, there should be some wildlife around here.
Surprise!
The McDonald's Happy Meal guys.
Yep, chicken McNuggets, regular soft drink, and regular fries.
And they aren't lying.
What do you put in your McDonald's Halloween pumpkins?
Spookty and McBoo, matey. Carrot and McGoblin. Gold and McPumpkin, partner.
Now you can collect one of 3 different pumpkins with the purchase of every McDonald's Halloween Pumpkin Happy Meal. What you put in them is up to you.
In 1989, the line was refreshed. McBoo was now a white bucket, and McWitch replaced McPumpkin. McWitch featured a witch hat lid instead of the typical pumpkin top lid. In future releases, they received glow-in-the-dark treatments, cookie cutters in the lid, or were licensed character-themed buckets. Shout out to Nightmare Nostalgia for their deep dive into the Boo Bucket history on their website, which goes way more in depth. I've shared a link to it in this video's description. Now let's take a look at more of my Halloween adjacent items. The 1979 Kenner Star Wars trash compactor monster, Dalgona, a tentacled, cephalopod-like scavenger that was initially placed in the Death Star's garbage masher to break up organic waste. 1979's Canful of Monsters by Bandai America. There's 15 monsters, which I have referenced in another video in case you want to take a look at that. From Kenner's 1982 The Adventures of Indiana Jones Well of Souls playset, the Mummy figure. Another playset from 1982, Castle Grayskull from Mattel's Masters of the Universe toy line. Fortress of Mystery and Power for He-Man and His Foes, it states on the packaging. From Galoob's Black Star toy line in 1983, Gargo. He's considered the Vampire Man. He also came with huge wings, an alien demon minion, and a glow-in-the-dark vampire staff, which I do not have. In 1983, LJN's Dungeons & Dragons Kellic, the Evil Sorcerer, and Zarak, also from the line, the Evil Half-Orc Assassin. 1984, Gremlins Bendable Stripe by LJN. Mattel's 1984 Secret Wars Spider-Man, the symbiote suit. 1984's Masters of the Universe Battle Bones Collector's Carrying Case. Also from Masters of the Universe, Webster, Evil Master of Escape. 1984's Voltron's Hagar the Witch from Panache Place. Her witchcraft is enormous, it states on the packaging. A carded version of Jeeper Creeper from GoBots from 1984 by Tonka. Also a loose version of Jeeper Creeper. Basically, he made this list in name only. Also from Voltron is the Skull Tank from 1984. Look out, when these jaws reach out, nothing escapes. Also that year, the Snake Mountain playset was released. The Evil Stronghold of Skeletor features Demon's moving jaws and Wolfhead's microphone. 1985's Masters of the Universe Fright Zone, the Evil Horde's trap-filled stronghold of terror. 1985's LJN's Thundercats Mumra, a sorcerer and demon priest. He changes from mummy form to this ever-living form. 1985's Millions of Unusual Small Creatures Lurking Everywhere, aka Muscle figures from Mattel. Here's a few I've selected that I feel fit this theme. Connie Bezu, number 4. Aramaka Tukaji, number 6. Kinkatsuman, number 36. Godo Shiza, number 101. And I hope I don't butcher this one. Turbo Man, number 232. 1986 Motu's Terraclaw Skeletor, evil leader with the claw swinging action. Skeletor swings his hands of horror to foil his foes' defenses. 1986 Topps Garbage Pail Kids, cheap toys with crummy candy. Thin Lin was one of 10 released in Series 1. 1986 Mattel's Hot Wheels Speed Demons. This is Vampra. Number 2060 is a hot rod shaped like a vampire bat, hence the name. Frighteningly fast. 1987's Master of the Universe Mosquitor from Mattel. The evil energy draining insectoid, basically a vampire. The figure features a button when pressed that causes his chest to flow with blood. Officially released in 1987, Master of the Universe Scareglow, Evil Ghost of Skeletor. Another great glow-in-the-dark item from the 80s. A carded version of Mego's Pocket Superhero Spider-Man from 1979. 1990s Lego Castle System Black Monarch's Ghost, which is set 6034, the glow-in-the-dark ghost minifigure. The original release used a standard 1x2 brick and a 1x2 plate instead of minifigure legs. A 1984 Michael Jackson trading card, number 32, from Series 1, wearing the Thriller video jacket. The back of the card states, Michael was so impressed with the makeup effects from the movie An American Werewolf in London that he contacted director John Landis. The end result of their combined efforts was Thriller, considered by many to be the finest video ever produced. Released in 1986, Topps Garbage Pail Kids from Series 3, Beth Death, card 95B, Charlotte Webb, card 98A, the variant 98B, DDT, Frankenstein, card 112A, Eerie Eric, card 116A, and the variant Berserk Kirk, card 116B. Series 4, also from 1986, Unzipped Zack, card 132B, and from Series 9 in 1987, Bonehead Fred, card 369B. Toy Biz's 1989 Batman figure, Hasbro's Battle Beasts released in 1987, Bliss Creek Bat, and Web Slinger Spider. From Hasbro, G.I. Joe, A Real American Heroes Crystal Ball from 1987. Did you know author Stephen King is credited with his creation? According to an Entertainment Weekly article from 2017, which I'll link to in the video description, states Mr. King and his son, Owen, who was 9 at the time and a huge G.I. Joe fan, were cross-country skiing when Owen stated, "Dad, wouldn't it be great if there was a G.I. Joe who could read minds?" Stephen replied, "That would be great. What would you call a character like that?" Owen responded, crystal ball. Stephen King wrote down a pitch, sent it to Hasbro, which added the figure to the toy line in 1987. Crystal Ball's file card states his mother is from Bangor, Maine, sharing the same town as Stephen and Owen King. On a side note, Sneak Peek, another G.I. Joe figure from 1987, was named Owen King after the young fan, and his birthplace is also noted as Bangor, Maine on his file card. In 1982, Wacky WallWalker from Tradex Corp.
Coming at you free, your own Wacky WallWalker. It tumbles and crawls down walls and even glows in the dark. It's wacky and free in Apple Jacks.
Before its introduction in the U.S., Ken Hakuta received several sticky octopus-like toys in the mail from his mother, who lived in Japan. They were intended for his children, but Hakuta found himself fascinated with the toy, which was called Tako, Japanese for octopus. He realized their marketing potential, and after purchasing rights for the product for $5,000, he began to market them locally in Washington, D.C., dubbing them Wacky WallWalkers. Their popularity was mediocre until Nina Hyde of the Washington Post wrote a feature story. This created a buzz, and people in the Washington area flooded local stores to purchase them. As the fad began to decline, over 200 million Wacky WallWalkers had been sold, raking in just about $20 million. And because of his success, Hakuta became a consultant for other fad inventions, calling himself Dr. Fad. They came in multiple colors and glow-in-the-dark versions as well. Deck the Halls with Wacky Walls is an American television Christmas special that aired on NBC on December 11, 1983. The special is inspired by the Wacky WallWalker toys that were imported from Japan and merchandised by Ken Hakuta in 1982. Comment to let me know your thoughts on my list, or share your vintage-inspired Halloween-adjacent items. And until our next venture.